who are just coming into the room, if you want to do some more reading on emotional intelligence, and I come from the school of thinking you can't do enough reading and training on emotional intelligence. Again, the first book I would recommend, the gateway book, would be Travis Bradberry, Emotional Intelligence 2.0. Now, Travis is a disciple of Daniel Goleman, who is the modern father of emotional intelligence. But Daniel is a neurobiologist. And if you read Daniel's work, which is brilliant, but if you read it first, you might lose interest because he will talk an awful lot about anatomy and physiology of the brain, the chemical mediators, the amygdala, and you're thinking to yourself, Daniel, make a point for God's sake. I'm not here for ADP. Like he gets very into that. When he does make a point about how the brain works, and then how emotions are triggered, and then how they result in behavior, it's absolutely fascinating. But I would really suggest you to go with 2.0, Emotional Intelligence 2.0 first, because it's written in English. And you can really get the basic and fundamental idea you got from that. Then the next book I would recommend is Emotional Intelligence at Work by Daniel Goleman. And then anything, how many of you are in leadership positions? Good, is this geared towards leaders? Then he has another one called Primal Intelligence. No, I'm sorry, Primal Leader, which is invaluable. And then finally, I think the last book of his I read was Social Intelligence, and I found that invaluable as well. So, you just can't get enough of the end. Okay. So again, I'm Phyllis Quinlan. I am the founder and owner of NFW Consultants. It's a multi-service consulting firm. I do a lot of training and keynote speaking and coaching. And one of the key tools that I use is emotional intelligence as a coach and as a trainer and healthcare leader. I find that it is the missing ingredient. Okay, we've come to a time now where skills and knowledge are not enough to ensure that you are going to either be personally or professionally successful. That used to be the equation back in the day. And I feel a little bit like a hypocrite because I drank all the Kool-Aid, as you can imagine, as far as getting, school, academic preparation, certifications, you name it, I got it, because I got one, and all of that. And then here I'm going to tell you that skills and knowledge are not enough. And in this day and age, where we have informed consumers, and we have informed workforces, and we really are looking to have a lot more of engagement in the workplace and really try to move from transactional leadership to transformational leadership. You're not going to be able to make a genuine connection with your staff or with the people that, with your patients and their families, if you can't create more authentic. That is the key. And, we've gotten in the way of that, and unfortunately, things that have happened over the years, managed care, capitation, everything has really put us into a focus of just getting done slicker and quicker. And there was a real gap of time there where I didn't hear the word caring. I don't know about you. I heard about right-sizing, downsizing, fiscal responsibility, do less, more with less, all of that stuff. Being counter language. I didn't hear caring. And now that we are really being measured about how people feel, what is their experience like, finally being measured by what is the essence of healthcare and the true metrics of healthcare. We finally have gotten to a point where caring matters again. Right? Does the patient feel cared for? Does the family feel supported? And we have to brush up on those skills in order to close that gap. And emotional intelligence, quite honestly, is the gateway, I think, or the mechanism by which we can do that. Okay. Give me a second. Did, yeah, okay. Let's see if I can get this to go forward.
Okay, let's cross you over. Let's pick the time. Right now, remind me tomorrow. How about that? Okay, let's see. Let's see. There you go. It's the inner 12-year-old in me. Okay, so I'm going to talk about and focus about management and leadership. But if you are someone who is in a staff position, I'm speaking to you as well, because you're not going to be in a staff position all of your career. I got it to work. Thank you. Thank you. So let's first talk about the function of management and leadership. Planning, leading, organizing, and controlling. These are the four things that pretty much focus what your focus is on a leader, as a leader. Determining the structure and order of work activity, workflow, if you will. Communicating how that work is to be done, and then, of course, making sure the work is completed. Preparing to do the work by allocating and using your resources, and then, of course, delivering on commitments. You absolutely have to make sure you deliver on commitments, because that's how you're building your integrity, your credibility, all right? Trust, which is huge. Absolutely the key ingredient, trust, all right? And then what I like to talk about is equity. So hopefully many of you have savings accounts, bank accounts, and you know that's equity. It's the value that you put into that account. You're building equity. The more you pay off a mortgage, you're building equity into your home. I want you to think of it in the same way as building equity in relationships. Every time you deposit some of you into that relationship, you are building equity. And one of the key ways that you can build equity is develop trust and deliver on commitments. All right, and then of course controlling the activities of the staff, problem solving, course correcting, and then completing activities and managing your activities. These are all the essential ingredients of what day-to-day management or operations is about. It seems like it's a check-off list, but how many of you feel you can get this done alone? Ain't happening, okay? Which means that you're going to rely on your staff to be able to do this. And not only your staff, but your interprofessional staff, which means that you're going to have to want to do it. All right? And that is the key piece of leadership, is to have people really want to be able to follow a common goal and have a common idea or outcome in mind. So, of course, there are failures to, major causes of failure in leadership is, number one, the inability to organize your work or unwillingness to render what I call humble service. Because if you're really caught up in your title, you're off to a head start. All right? When you decide that you want to be in management or leadership in this day and age, it really has to be coming from a mindset of service. That I'm going to be serving my staff and the people, the patients and the families, but in a very different way than I did when I was clinical. With the service mindset and it coming from the heart has to be equal. Expecting a pay or promotion for what they know instead of what they do. Okay, so people sometimes get confusion around being able to do things rather than achieve things. Okay, if you're someone who's a little stuck in their career right now, I really want you to take a good look on, are you doing things, just getting things done, check, 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 or do you have a vision for your department, do you have a vision for your team, and are you investing in them because you're looking to achieve something, not just get the work done. Really grow the program that you're in. All right, acting as if longevity means tenure. Well, I've been doing this for 25 years. Well, good for you. Okay, that doesn't mean job security, all right? That means that you better really amp up your game for year 26, all right, if you want to stay competitive and vital. Reluctant to move out of their comfort zone, all right? If you're phoning it in, please do something else, all right? Please do something else. Inability to build solid working relationships, fear of competition, thinking that they're the smartest person in the room, okay? The secret to my success as a leader is that I'm not the smartest person in the room, but I know what smart looks like and sounds like, so I surround myself with the smartest people in the room. And it's kind of like playing an orchestra, all right? They're much better at what they do than I am. I know how to bring that team together. That is the secret of success. Okay, so we're looking at a service or value-based leadership, and there's two components. a desire to serve, and the ability to lead by example. You really want to change the culture of your department, your organization. Role modeling is the only thing that I can tell you is a guaranteed winner approach. Whether you preach or teach or have people read or have been placed persuaded and blessed, I don't care what you're going to do. All right, but if you can't walk the talk, it ain't happening because they're looking at you each and every day. All right, just want to make sure that everything that you do, everything, you always have the idea that you are always on stage. It's a tremendous amount of pressure, and you have to be up to it because everything you do sends a message. It sets a tone. All right, and it teaches what to do, and then of course what not to do. Okay, so how do you do all of that? I mean, that's a lot. You know, on top of staying clinically, current and all the other things that we're asking of you. And really, the only way I can tell you is that you have to have personal mastery. And that way, or the gateway to personal mastery, is through emotional intelligence. Now, these are the 4 components of emotional intelligence. The top 2, self-awareness and self-management, are your personal competencies. Personal competencies. And then your social awareness and your relationship management are obviously your social competencies outside of yourself. Unfortunately, we have a history of getting this a little bit backwards. Okay, that we put people in leadership positions and we expect them because they have either, they're good at being in charge or they're good at being the lead, and we think that we can groom them for leadership. And they're decent at social awareness and maybe relationship management, and then the stress of the role reveals that they haven't done the first 2 competencies, or they haven't done enough work leading into those first 2 competencies to truly prepare them to lead. And then that's when the wheels start to come off, or the staff's engagement scores start to drop, or whatever your metrics is. Bottom line, this person is losing ground and you're not succeeding in that leadership role. Does this sound familiar to anyone? Okay, you can relate. Funny thing about emotional intelligence, these competencies are sequential. First, you have to be self-aware. You have to have the personal integrity and courage, and most importantly, the compassion, self-compassion, to be able to lean in as an adult, a professional, and probably successful to a degree, lean into yourself and take a good hard look at those habitual behaviors you engage in that are no longer serving you. And you don't take a look at those things with an eye of, how can I be this stupid, or how can I be this silly, or what's going on. You look at those habitual behaviors and be thankful for them to getting you where you are today, because they serve you. It might be a tad dysfunctional, all right? You might be trying to outrun the fear of abandonment, or you might be trying to outrun the fear of self, fear of failure. But whatever you're outrunning, you did a good job, because here you are, ready to be in a leadership position. But you have to turn and face that demon and find out what's this fear of abandonment all about. Because the first time you're confronted by your staff, if you're not, guess who's coming to dinner? Good old abandonment. It's going to rock your world. And you can't let that happen. So you really, in preparation, if you're not in leadership or you're in middle management and you really aspire to upper management, you want to make sure that you lean into self-awareness and self-management first. That's the preparation for leadership. There's no other class. I can tell you to read the Harvard Business Review, which I will tell you to read the Harvard Business Review. All right? But there's nothing harder that school can teach you than a good trip down self-awareness lane, starting on that journey of introspection, compassionately, in order to understand, not judge, in order to understand, is going to be more important to that, because going on that journey of self-awareness and self-management is not something that should beat you up and toughen you up. It is something that should soften you. When you put your arms around why you do what you do, whether it's functional or dysfunctional, you start to lean into what we would call a shared human experience. Everybody feels abandoned at one point. Everybody feels disrespected.
Everybody has their world rocked at some time. And if you lean into those things and you understand what's going on inside of you, then it should soften you so that you can make a more genuine, empathetic connection with another human being. We haven't taught you that. What we taught you to do is toughen up. I'm going to ask you to tool up instead. Right? I don't want to be tough. The last thing I want to do is make tough old nurses. I am one of the tough old nurses. Okay? And I don't want you to go there. We don't need tough anymore. We need smart and tooled up. Right? We don't need grit. Right? We need resilience. There's a difference. There's a truth because we need you to be around for the long haul. How many of you are practicing over 30 years? Okay, just ain't no spread. Okay, this is now. Okay, and you have to stay in it. And many of us, in my age group, and I've got many here, okay, so in my age group, right, I plan to work at least until I'm 70. So ask me why. Okay, so is it because I don't do well alone, I need to be working? Yeah, probably that's a big thing. Okay, but the other piece is I'm needed. I'm needed. I come with a tremendous amount of life experience and wisdom, and so do you. And everybody behind us needs that. They need it. So if you're burnt out, pissed off, and angry, you're not going to be able to contribute to the degree that you need to. So really, at this point, after 30 years, it is a service of love. It's not a career anymore. It's really mission-oriented, legacy-oriented. And I really want you to lean into that possibility. Okay, we're going to focus on social awareness and relationship management, assuming that everyone here is chief on the class of self-awareness and self-management. You all have it right. Fair enough. If you have it, you know what your homework is. Okay. So relationships are the currency in the workplace. You're going to live and die by the quality of the relationships. And I'm talking about interprofessional relationships. So if you haven't made friends with engineering and EDS and vendors and everybody to the lateral, to the sides of you, up above you and down, then you have more homework to do. Every day when you go home, you should ask yourself a couple of questions. One, did I give my best today? Not perfect, not, excellence. Don't mean in that stuff. Just your best, your personal best on that particular given day. If the answer is yes, terrific. If the answer is no, well, then you have some deep diving introspection to do as to why. The other question you should ask yourself is, did I do anything to build my relationships? Did I start a new relationship, maybe with a new staff member or a new director? Did I anchor a relationship I already have? Or did I do a little fence mending where fence mending was appropriate? You're going to live and die by the quality of your relationships. Okay? So social awareness is really being aware of the other person's feelings and needs. And you can only do that from a sense of being able to be authentic and genuine. When you can realize that we all have shared human experiences. We will succeed, we will fail, we all know joy, we all know loss. We have to come across on some common ground in order to get a sense of how the other person is doing, so that we can start a relationship from that point. It's the ability to recognize and appropriately respond to the feelings of others. So now you've got a head full of steam and you're going in and you're thinking to yourself, I meet with my staff, and I've got to do this and I've got to do that. And you know the drill, right? You go in and you're looking at your staff and they look like, an episode of Walking Dead. Is this a time for you to go, wow, where's it? You got to be able to read the room. This is a time for you to take that speech and pep talk, and put it in the drawer and sit down and say, okay, what's going on? I need to listen. I need to listen. So that's this ability not to be so in your head with what needs to be done, but that you are literally watching everybody else and getting a sense of their energy and where they're at so that you can customize what your message is, or even perhaps delay your message based on the energy of the room, the needs of the people, and they are going to sense that, and they're going to say, oh my God, she came in here, he came in here with this agenda, saw what we were like, and she made it, or he made it, about us.
You want to build trust? That's the way to do it. Okay? So there are competencies involved, sub-competencies, if you will, in social awareness. And the first one is empathy. Anybody want to give me a definition of empathy? Putting yourself in someone else's shoes. And that's really it. Okay? So that if, say there's a staff member, well, I work, my day job, I'm in a children's hospital. Okay? So I, fortunately, thank you, God, all right, I've never lost a child. And all my kids are very healthy and blessed. So I don't know what it's like to lose a child. I can't come across to someone and say, I know what you're feeling. That would be disingenuous. But I have lost parents, and I have lost friends, and I know what loss feels like. So I find the common denominator. And then you and I can talk, because I am going to use that tool of empathy to soften myself, to allow myself to feel as best I can what you're feeling, so that I can now be in sync with you, so that our energies start to vibrate together. That's empathy. Okay? The next one is social awareness, organizational awareness, which is another word for politics. All right? So you are not looking at a politician, trust me. Okay, the last place I belong is the UN. I have very definite opinions. So, it's hard to, for me, I have no patience with why things can't be done. My clinical background is emergency nursing. Okay, for me, everything is airway, breathing, circulation, neural next. Okay, and why can't we do that? Why can't that be a project? Silly me. Okay, how many of you work in an academic setting? There's teaching hospital settings. So if you really want organizational awareness in politics on steroids, it's not just a hospital culture, but over that is the layer of the academic competition and culture. And then there has to be a service orientation. And again, I'm asking you, if you don't have a service mind, leadership is not for you. And if you are a leader with a service attitude, you must demand it of your staff. If you're working with staff that for whatever reason get turned off by the term service, then there has to be some other work that needs to be done with the staff to raise their awareness that we are in the business of human service. Our division is nursing. Other division is social work. Another division is medicine. But we are in the business of human service. Okay, so empathy we pretty much talked about. All right, organizational awareness is a tough one. It's a tough one because you have to make your peace with it or just for some things that are not going to budge. So my only antidote or treatment of organizational awareness is the serenity prayer. Anybody familiar with the serenity prayer? I say it all the time. God grant me peace, right? And understand the difference, right? What I can change, what I can't, and let me live and breathe and not torment myself with what I can't move or shake. Okay, so the serenity prayer is the answer to organizational awareness. In service orienting, you really have to be able to anticipate, recognize, and lead other people's needs. All right, and that has to be something that gives you joy, satisfaction, a sense of competency, a sense of being in tune with your patients and with your staff. It means focusing your efforts on others, okay, and the reaction to their requests. People who get this right really gladly offer assistance in a very genuine manner, not a plastic way, and their body language matches their verbiage. It's not, can I help you? One of those things where you're like, no, that's okay. You're the last person I knew, right? Make themselves available to others. They truly make themselves available. They round up, they show up, they're not hiding. They make themselves available. They are very visible. And they don't over-identify with their role or their title. All right, so it's not coming in as it's coming in as, hi, I'm your nurse, I'm one of the nurses, I'm in the unit. It's coming in as a person and not a role. Okay, so why is this really important? Why is social awareness important? You tell me. Very much so. Very much so. So how many of you come from urban areas, cities? Okay. So what we know now is I come from New York, so we're pretty diverse in New York, as you can imagine. All right.
So what empathy does is, even though we have so many diverse ways of doing things, and we have cultures, and sometimes we are culture class because we're not necessarily completely fluent in each other's culture. One thing we all have in common, regardless of where you come from on this planet, is we're all human, which means that we have a certain set of feelings that we have in common. And if you have no other place to start, you start there. Okay? What's important to you? All right? What are things that you absolutely have to have? What are things that you were secondary things? And what are things that you don't need at all? These are common human things, so that we can really figure out what's going on. Okay? With relationship management, now we're getting into groups. It's not just the one-on-one, but into groups. It refers to the proficiency of obtaining desirable results from others. How to lead teams. Okay? I'm going to tell you right now. If you don't have trust, you don't have a team, you have a group. Okay? If there is no trust in your staff, then you have a group of staff, you don't have a team. Because the essence and the underpinning of a team is going to be trust. Okay, so people with good social skills usually are good business people. They usually have some leadership ability in society. They can do effective parenting. And they understand personal success and group success. And not something that you actually separate. One kind of flows and intertwines with the other. They're just very good at communicating, and they're very good at inspiring, and they're very good at doing the work and building the equity of trust. They lead by example, and everything they do compounds and creates more trust. So, I'm sure you probably had somebody, or at least I hope you had somebody in your life, maybe not in a professional capacity, but in a personal capacity. The old story, I'm marching to hell with this person. Right? You do that because you trust them. I don't know why we're marching into hell, but if you tell me we need to, we're going. I'm right there. Okay? Because it's a feeling. You can't quantify it. And it's fragile. And once lost, boom. Okay? It is the most difficult thing for a leader to get back. So you have to really work hard to keep it strong and to keep yourself every morning, what am I going to do to build that trust, anchor that trust? This is why your work in self-awareness and self-management is so important, because the business of building trust in teams is so fragile and so ongoing, and it's never complete. Right? That you have to have the stamina and the self-understanding, especially if you screw up one day, which of course is inevitable, that you can stand there and you can say, I really messed up, and I'm so very sorry, and I hope that I have enough equity in the relationship with this team that you will forgive me and watch me make that right. And if you've done the work, that should happen.
Instill the trust in the team. Amongst themselves.
That's a really great question. So can I shelf that for just a minute? We're going to talk about that. And maybe I might get to put it back door to answer. Okay, so you would think it was going to get easier, but it's not. There are actually all of these sub-competencies in relationship management. So the first one is influence, change catalyst. You have to be someone who can manage change well. Conflict management, teamwork, bond building, communication. There has to be a devotion to developing others. And if you have anybody in your staff that says, I don't orient, I don't train, right, then you don't belong there. Okay, because there is a professional obligation within our code and within our Florence Nightingale pledge that we develop the next generation. It's part of who we are, and you don't get to back away from that. All right, and then you must inspire. The number one characteristic of a transformational leader is that they inspire people to be the full they can be. I know I can do that. You're showing me that I'm doing that. I can do that.
Okay, so let's talk about influence, all right? And what you really need to do is be able to fine-tune your presentation so that they appeal to the listener. There's a big difference. We mix up power with the idea of influence. I've had power, you can have it. Okay? I now have influence, far more power. Okay? You know, who do you think is more powerful? Maybe, I don't know, if you've ever seen pictures of, you know, with popes in town, or, you know, the popes doing a mass, or the popes doing a presentation, or the Dalai Lama's in town, anybody's influence. But the big cheese, person with the power is there, and there's always one person, like a bee, behind them. All right? They're the powerful ones. Okay, have you ever seen a good executive secretary? You can't get past her with a gun and a $10,000 bill. All right, you don't get to speak to this guy unless you talk to me. I think it's important you speak to this. Have you ever met those people? Right, chiefs of staff, so to speak. They are the influencers. They have no official power, but they wield a tremendous amount of influence. I promise you, they want influence with power every time. Okay, which means that you have to be extremely credible. You have to be someone that people trust. You have to have a way of being able to listen to what this person is actually asking, so that you can then guide them into whether they're making the best decision or not. Because people will confide in you that they're unsure about something, and they're looking for coaching and guidance and influence from you. That's a sacred trust. Screw that one time, we'll never have it back. So whether you're like saying always on stage or always on stage, okay? You have to be a change catalyst. How many of you are familiar with the term appreciative inquiry? Okay, well, your homework, all right? Appreciative inquiry is the transformational methodology for change management in the 21st century. The person who invented this term, and perhaps the way to do it, is a David Cooper writer, C-O-O-P-E-R, R-I-D-E-R, Cooper writer. Now, I've read David's books. They're not as good as his articles. I rarely say that, but his book, somehow, I don't know, it just didn't make the point. But you can read anything that talks about emotional, appreciative inquiry and change. All right, and there are several people, it's not just David's concept. All right, but you want to be able to know how to do this, and it's starting from a place of what's working. What's working? Okay, so your turnaround times. All right, transactionally, if you were a leader, a transactional leader, if somebody said, okay, we've got to change these rooms from 20 minutes to 15 minutes, or 25 minutes to 20 minutes, listen, this is what they told us we have to do, just do it. Okay, that's transactional. When you're using transformational leadership approaches, you're going to bring everybody into the team, and you're going to put 3 columns up. You're going to say, what's working over here? How come we can hit this 25-minute change time on a regular basis? We don't have to go to 20, but what's working that allows us to do 25 so well? Then what's our dream? Get into 20. And then the third column is, and what's holding us back? And it's going to be people or systems. Not enough of this, too much of that. This person never cooperates, they're short-staffed. And that third column becomes your action item. All right, so you can chip away at that action item, but you always start from the place of what's working. Okay, what's working with communication? What's working with collaboration? What's working with staffing? Okay, what's your dream about communication? What's your dream about collaboration? What's your dream about staffing? So the way that you can do this is my model for creating a healthy work environment is that you look at the pillars of a healthy work environment that are put out by the American Association of Critical Care Nurses, and you ask these questions: what's working? What's the dream? And what's holding us back? And that's how you can effectively get your staff engaged, not only in the change, but then in the sustaining of the change, because you actually show them the respect as their work works for you. And they are part of that change action. Okay, you've got to be good at conflict management. And this means that you don't have to really get cozy with human resources. And if you're not healthy with human resources, you're going to need to start to build some relationships. And don't be afraid to go in and tell them, I need training. I need training for me. I need training for my staff. All right? If you haven't had a refresher in team steps in a while, let's get that. That's the first one in conflict. Okay, management. So, you really want to be able to have a set of demands from your supportive departments. Okay, so leadership is a way of finding the interdisciplinary team approach to whatever your challenging issue is. And then your big thing here is to make sure, you make sure that you learn how to get to a win-win. You're going to drop the word compromise. Don't ever say it again, because compromise means somebody's losing something. I have to give up something in order for you to get what you want. Yeah, that's good. Okay. What you really want to do is use the word negotiate. I'm going to negotiate, which means that tell me what your most important thing is, and I'm going to tell you what my most important thing is. We're going to find a way to get you your most important thing, not everything, your most important thing. And I'm going to get my most important thing, and we're going to have a win-win situation. You win, I win. Right? We're going to leave this, we're going to build that relationship, figure out how that works, we're going to come back and negotiate on another point that we know it's not. It's time consuming, but it really builds relationships. And it keeps things extremely positive. Teamwork and collaboration. Again, know the difference between being a doer and an achiever. Anybody can check off a list of do, yeah, I did that. But do you have a vision? Do you have a plan, a strategy to make that vision come alive? That's leadership. That's achieving. So that when you go in to have your performance evaluation, you just don't go into your boss and say, well, here's what I've done. You say, in the last 6 months, here's the steps we've taken, because here's what we've achieved. Very different conversation altogether. Okay? You can't communicate enough. All right, you can't practice communicating enough, and in this day and age, you have to get comfortable with communicating in every medium available. So I always start with face-to-face, especially if it's bad news. You never deliver bad news in an email. It's cowardly. Okay, so when you have to tell somebody their vacation didn't happen, it's got to be face-to-face. It's got to be a amount of respect. You've got to have somebody that is trusted, manager, or courage. Okay, so you can send out a blast email with things that need to be told to everybody. And then you want to make sure the off-shift or the weekend people or the on-call people have some talking points so that who's ever in charge or the leader for that can share those common language that the communication and the message is as consistent as possible. I was sharing with the group yesterday that I have nurse managers who have gone to their kids and they've shown them how to do a template for a newsletter. And on the end of Friday, the nurse manager will update that newsletter. And this will be what happened last week. So it's kind of retrospective. That's what happened this week. We're going to put the line in there. Here's what we can expect this week, next week. But everybody really enjoys reading this 1 or 2 page newsletter. All right, and you can talk about birthdays, and you can talk about anniversaries, you can talk about, just what's happening on the unit, as well as updates on initiatives and things of that nature, any kind of construction going on, open lines that you're recruiting for, things of that nature. This way everybody gets the message. Don't be afraid to text as long as you're not diving into any PHI, okay? You can text people if that's the preferred method, all right? And then the staff has to really respond to that, okay? So that, well, I don't want to check my emails on the weekend. Well, that, don't expect to be informed on Monday. Okay? So, I perfectly expect you're right not to want to check, click into your emails for the 10 minutes that it might cost you on your weekend, but don't expect me to then go back this on Monday. When I reached out to you 2 to 3 different ways, you're going to be uninformed on Monday and have to play catch up. There you go. All right. Okay. Developing others, which means that you really have to sit down and make a relationship with your staff and find out where they want to go, and then hopefully give them the stretch assignments and the training to really start to
push the edges of the envelope for them. If your staff, if all your staff haven't finished their baccalaureate degree, perhaps there's ways that you can have somebody come in and talk about online programs and adult-friendly programs for them. If they haven't gotten certified, ways that you can maybe bring a certification review class to the organization. If you haven't hosted an AORN chapter meeting in your organization, perhaps you want to throw it out there that we're actually going to host one in our hospital so that you can come and see what that's all about, and so on and so forth. How many people here are in NAGRA organizations? Okay, so there's a lot of opportunity in NAGRA organizations for people to get stretch assignments to see what else they might want to do and stretch themselves in all different ways. Okay, and then of course you're going to inspire because you're going to be the type of person that leans in. I don't know, be very honest. We've got this problem. I have a prayer clue on how we're going to get around it. But that doesn't mean we're not. It just means that it has not revealed itself to us yet. All right, we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out together. And it's probably the answer is not going to look like anything we think it's going to look like at this point, but it's still going to be the answer, and it's going to be fine. You have to have that ability to be transparent enough to say, I'm not sure how I'm going to lead you through this, but I am going to inspire you to be able to follow me and to dig down deep and show up with whatever you need. Okay, and of course that will build bonds, which of course will, strengthen all of those relationships. So the power of bridge building, we really need to continually build trust every day. Did I build that trust? Did I, put some effort into those relationships? You want to explain your decisions and not just make them. Okay? I've made a very unpopular decision. I need to explain to you why it was necessary. I'm not happy with it, but I am the director, and I'm going to have to own it, and I'm going to have to be the company person at this point. It's not my favorite thing, or my best thing, but it is something I'm going to do, and I expect each and every one of you to follow me. To fall in line and be kindness. And we will make the best of it. Okay? Tackle those tough conversations. Whether it's probably it's going to come down to disruptive behavior. Don't back away from those tough conversations. Take feedback well. Ask your staff when you're making your rounds, how am I doing? How am I doing? Right? And be ready because they're probably going to tell you. Okay, but that's okay. I'd rather know now, that's a gift, because then I can course correct. All right, and remember the little things really, pack a big punch. All right, and you can practice this in your mind. Have you ever told the person who's clearing the table how good the food was when you're in a restaurant? Do that. Start recognizing the little people. Start recognizing this and start recognizing that. Okay? How many, no show of hands, but how many went up and thanked the guy playing this guitar this night when you had the cocktail party? Yeah, it's good music. Okay? Raising your awareness of that ability to just say, I really enjoyed your guitar playing. Thank you so much. It's all needed. 10 seconds, 15 words. All right? How much did that, how did it make you feel when I said that? You come back and play your more free. Got the idea? Okay? Because everybody wants to please and to thank you. Everybody wants to say, I'm sorry I screwed up. You really make sure I don't do it again. Can't guarantee I can do it again, but I should have tried not to do it again. Okay? So Travis Bradbury, again, a disciple of Daniel Goleman, has an article that talks about 9 types of people who never succeed at work. And I tend to really align with this. Okay, the coward is never going to succeed. Trust me, you're going to have to show a little managerial courage. All right? The dementor might seem, and everybody's seen Harry Potter, right? So everybody knows what a dementor is. All right? Somebody that just torments you. All right? The dementor might seem to succeed in the long run, but trust me, there's a reason why they stay at a very low level. Because everybody's aware of them, can't really get an effective plan to deal with them, but they're going nowhere. Okay, the arrogant, the person who is so frightened about, losing control that they really hold the status quo ground. The person who talks about the glass being half empty. So, if I showed you a glass of water, and it was, what you would conventionally to the eye see, the water is halfway in the glass, would you be the type of person to say, is it half empty or half full? So I put to you, regardless, the glass is always full. Half of water and half of atmosphere. It's always full. All right, the temperamental. You have to deliver a consistent leadership product day in and day out. You can't have the staff saying, well, I don't know how I feel because the leader hasn't shown up yet. When I figure out how he feels today, then I'll know how I feel. I mean, that's crazy. It can't happen. The victim, the person, it's always a pity party. Nobody loves me, everybody hates me. All right? The gullible staff, you know what I'm talking about. You wonder how they've navigated life, or it just seems so challenged. Okay? And everybody wants to help them because you just can't help but want to help them, but trust me, you're going nowhere. Okay? And then the person who's constantly saying, I'm sorry, yeah, I'm screwing up, I'm probably going to screw up later, I'll just say I'm sorry. It's my mantra, this is how I get what I want, but I'm sorry. Got nowhere. Okay? So, 10 reasons why nice bosses finish first, because all you hear about is how good people finish last. Not so. Good people are taking over the planet slowly. It's an underground movement, right? But you can be kind without being weak. All right? This is where your empathy and your compassion and your understanding comes in. Yeah, I understand that this happened. Yeah, I can relate to that. But you do understand it's the 4th of July weekend. All right? And everybody put into this, and I can't necessarily make this accommodation. Tell me what part of that weekend means the most to you. Okay, so, well, actually the day before the holiday means the most to me. I'll make arrangements to cover you for the day before the holiday, but I expect you're not in here on the 4th of July to cover, because I won't be able to get coverage for that. Win-win. Okay, you can be kind without being weak. Okay, be strong without being harsh. You don't have to be harsh in order to be strong. In fact, you can be quite open and honest and transparent, but tough as nails, in the sense of having a strong heart and great tools to navigate the challenges in life. You do not have to tough your way through things. The day of the tough old nurse is over. If I do nothing before I leave this planet, I want to, say goodbye to the next tough old nurse. Okay? A lot of leaders mistake domineering, controlling, and otherwise harsh behaviors for strength. They are not. It's bullying. Pure and simple. And it tells your staff you're fighting. I don't think it tells them anything else. Okay? They're confident without being cocky. Okay? The old story of in Buddhism, which started in India, the symbol for leader is the tiger. And when you talk about leader and you translate that word into Sanskrit, the meaning, the word for leader in Sanskrit translates to the word weak, which you would think about if you were a leader. But the symbol is a tiger, and the thinking behind that is that if you're the tiger in the jungle, do you have to tell anybody you're the leader? You're the tiger. So you walk like the tiger, you act like the tiger, you have stripes like the tiger, but you don't have to go around fighting everybody to tell them you're the tiger. Okay? It's just how you hold yourself in the room. It's more that energy than anything else. Okay? They stay positive but remain realistic. Okay? And you're not Pollyanna, but you certainly can be positive. So it's all in the fan one day. You decide, I'm going to get out there and do rounds and see if I can. I see a lot of smoke and I need to put it out before it starts to become, team fire kind of thing. How do you want to deal with that? Do you want to go in and we all go in around and what is that? Okay? How are you doing? Don't do that when you're rounding anymore. Your mantra is going to be, tell me what's working today. Change the whole energy up. Tell me what's working. Everybody showed up today and came to work. Okay? All right. What can I help you with? But you're going to start off with what's positive. So that people realize you're making rounds. This is not you opening yourself up to a bitching and moaning session. That will only make the atmosphere worse. You're looking to throw a little positivity on the smokes before it becomes fire. You don't want to throw a little gasoline on there. Okay? So what's working? Tell me one thing that's working. It's almost lunchtime? Yeah, okay. Anybody want pizza? I'll straight for pizza. Do you know what I mean? I understand that nurses, I can't understand the miracle thing that pizza's done, because there's something miraculous. Okay, but they're role models and not preachers. You know, they get out there in the middle of it and they say, is this the suckiest day we've had in a week or a month? This is the suckiest day we've had in a month. And thank you. If I don't get a chance to thank all of you personally today, thank you. Your patients, thank you. I thank you. Your profession, thank you. I got pizza in that. Okay? They're willing to take a bullet for their people. Right? Physician starts in with the nurses. Whoa, 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 whoa. There's only one nurse in this room right now. You're looking at it right here. What do you have to say? All these people, they're just doing their best. Something wrong with how this is flowing, you might need to go have a cup of coffee. All right? You redirect that bullet away from all of your people. So it's not a machine gun or a Gatling gun. All right? You take the bullet, and then you figure out how you're going to get back. All right, they balance work with fun. All right, you're all here. I'm hoping you're having some fun, but it shows me that you're putting your own oxygen on. You need to make sure that you have a balance, so that, well, I don't believe in balance so much as I believe in integration. Okay, that, you know, your personal life flows into your work life and it flows back this way, but somehow it will make sense. Okay, and then, of course, that kind of integration will prevent burnout and help to build a great culture. And you need to take time off because you have to signal to your staff that it's important to take time off. Okay? They form personal connections, they deliver feedback flawlessly, and they're great leaders are very generous, specifically with your knowledge. All right, specifically with your knowledge. You know, someone's, you know, writing a paper or doing something because they're in school or something else is going on, or some kids going up to camp for the first time, some kids are going up to college for the first time, you're already sent to college. You know, when you come up to them and you say, so how are you doing? I know that Bob's going to college. Yeah, I can cheat them before they start talking about their kids, he's going to be fine. Tell me about you. Because when I sent my kids to college, they broke my heart. And you get that kind of, again, empathy, common ground, genuine, authentic human connection, and the next thing you know, you're building much more equity into that relationship. You can be generous with your life lessons as well as your professional lessons. So when we talk about dysfunctional teams, okay, this is from the book, 5 Dysfunctions of Teams. It's another Bible of mine, it's a must read. All right, and it talks the absence of trust is the foundation of the destruction of a team. And from that absence comes fear of conflict. Now, a healthy amount of conflict is important in any team. You have to have open communication so that when you're floating ideas and you're brainstorming, that everybody's voice will be heard. And sometimes it might get contentious, it can get disrespectful, it can get loud, but it doesn't have to be belittled. Okay? And then, of course, there's a lack of commitment, all right? And then there's the avoidance of accountability. And then the next thing you know, unintentional results. Okay, so we talk about the power of trust. And there's a book out there called The Speed of Trust, which I also recommend. It's one of the probably heard that, Speed of Trust. All right? It talks about if there is trust in a relationship, you can get so much done quicker. All right, so a lot of times, you know, you get the lawyers involved, you make a contract will last 3 months because they're going to just, you know, hash out every word, every comma, every this, every that, as opposed to some of the greatest collaborations have been done on a handshake because the two principals trusted one another. In fact, we gave you our word, you gave me your word, that was good enough to me. So that you can really cut through the weeds quickly if you have trust. Okay, the absence of trust shows up as people conceal weaknesses and mistakes from each other. Somebody might not really know what they're doing with their bodies, but they won't tell you because there's a fear factor involved. They don't want you to reveal. as opposed to having confidence and trust in a team that says, I've never operated this by myself. Can you walk me through it one more time? Okay? Hesitant to ask for help or provide constructive feedback. They fail to recognize or tap into one another's skills. Okay? That's not saying I'm dumping my work on you. I just need an infusion of what you know about this right now, and I'm paying back with an infusion of something down the road for me. Waste time managing their behavior. All right? Hold grudges and find reasons to avoid one another. I shared with the class yesterday. If you're looking at nurses really are social beings, you find anybody who's isolating. That's probably someone serving in a compassionate caregiver team. Trusting teams admit their weaknesses and mistakes and ask for help. We got a problem. We need some help here. Can we get some training? You bet. Accept questions and input about their areas of responsibility. They give one another the benefit of the doubt. All right? They just don't jump to the conclusion that obviously you're not just a bad nurse, you're a wrong person. All right? They take risks in offering feedback. Listen, I'm going to risk something here. I know you may not want to hear it, but you're really taking the sand out for the team when you act like this. All right, so what's going on? And try to be a good friend and colleague to someone. Okay, focus time on energy and important issues. I really have no time for the drama of taking place on the caregiver with your boyfriend again. All right, we're going to go in there and do some neurosurgery. Where's your head? All right. Offer and accepting apologies without hesitation. We look forward to working with one another. What a concept. Okay, when I was in the emergency department, we had teams on specific weekends. And you had to earn your way on 2 weekends with us because we barbecued and we brought in food, and especially on the weekends, and it was a holiday like Mother's Day or any of the things, we did things for one another. So that we really looked forward to working with one another, even though it was Christmas or weekend. Okay, so this is the book, The Speed of Trust with Covey. And what Covey is really trying to say here is that if you want to really get your initiatives off the ground, the old paradigm used to be develop a strategy and execute it well. And that'll give you results. That's transactional thinking. All right, the new paradigm now is develop a strategy, execute the week, and make sure that you're developing trust along the way, which means that you're communicating with people. You're telling them what's working about the strategy, what's not working, where the strategy needs to be revised. Thank you for your input because we didn't realize that the wheels were coming off here. That's so great that you got us back on course. And then you get results. And the most important piece about that is those results are sustainable. And they're not just a one-time achievement. But now they become part of your culture. Okay? Big trust busters is definitely change. No one likes to change. No one. Everybody wants to, I might have somebody like, yeah, I don't mind change. It's good to kind of open up the windows and blow the air through. They're saying that as long as their particular little nest in the tree doesn't get blown away in the wind. Okay, if somebody else has to change, that's fine, I'll support them. If I have to change, we've got a problem. All right, so nobody likes to change, which is why appreciative inquiry is such an important piece there, that you find out what's working and make sure it keeps working. And then you go slow, sustain, communicate, listen, and get everybody to the end point of where they need to be. Making sure that you are clear in your communication that this is the goal we're going to get to. Not sure how. And I'm willing to, and I'm expecting your input. But we all have to go here. There's where nobody can be left behind. And if somebody's not coming, say something so that we can talk to this person and encourage them to make that change. Because they're either coming or they're going to get left behind. That's an organizational reality. That's not you being harsh. Okay? So communication and follow-through means that you respect. All right? Which is really the foundation of trust. I know you respect me, I know you care. This is part of why I trust you as much as I do. Okay? Making sure you have responsibility, right? And make sure your staff has responsibility, and they report out on that responsibility. And they not only feel like part of the team, but they feel like a responsible, accountable, adult, professional part of the team. And that's the role model, so that other people on that team say, I can do that too. I can be that good. All right, put me in the game, coach, I'm ready to go in, put me in the game, give me a stretch of time where I too can take on responsibility. You show your gratitude and your appreciation, and it's not always pizza, okay? Quite honestly, it's a please, it's a thank you, it really is those things that are important. Saying to someone, I know you haven't been feeling all that well, I really appreciate you here. If for whatever reason you're not up to it, you do not talk to me later. Okay? Showing that human connection, acknowledging the effort, all right, is really what people are looking for. Your staff wants to be seen for what they do and how passionate about they are about what they do. They just don't want to be seen when they trip up. Okay? So, anybody write thank you notes to your staff? I am very big in the electronic thank you note. So I formed those electronic card companies, you know what I'm talking about, right? So I think it's $100 a year, and you can send every electronic message you want for the year for $100 or $150. So between nurse appreciation, anniversaries, parties, happy Christmas, congratulations, and I sort of did a good thing. I am always sending electronic cards. Okay? It's a great way when you make a new friend at work. You send a welcome card to somebody who got a new position, something positive. You always keep it as positive and interactive as possible. Does it? Send you a card. So this whole thing comes from the student principal, and any of you, I swear by the student principals, a big component of those, hardwiring excellence. But is this time consuming? It's time consuming to set up the account for the electronic piece. It's not time consuming to send a card. If I had to handwrite the card, that would be tough for me. I mean, I'm really an advocate of the electronic one, but that's me. If you're better at handwriting the card, wonderful. Okay, and then of course, you need to use your listening skills to the advantage that you can. All right, so I like to use the acronym WAIT. Why am I talking? All right, because it's when you're asking for feedback, this is not the time for you to justify or get defensive or anything. People are talking and dominate. So silence is really golden here, so just keep telling yourself, wait. Don't be talking, you need to be listening. Okay, look for consistent feedback. People want to be seen. People want to be seen. Okay, very much giving the feedback. Here's the feedback model that I recommend. Okay, it's the SFED model. So, you say to someone, well, how do you think you did? That's your self-assessment piece. Okay, and then, well, let me give you my feedback on that. And it's purely objective, no sentimental attachments to it. All right, and then you can say, I think if you did this class, read this thing, or whatever, I know you could be doing better. So you may have disappointed yourself that you didn't do this great this time. You didn't disappoint me because I was looking for courage, not perfection. So we're going to do it again tomorrow, and you're going to have that much more confidence, right? Because you're going to make it human, and then you give them the coaching. So it's a 4-step process. If you need to document this because you're working with someone, make a template out of this. You put direction in a couple of bullet points, or self-assessment rather, in a couple of bullet points. Feedback, a couple of bullet points, and so on. All right, you type it in, fill in the bullet points, print it out, sign it, put a date on it, throw it in somebody's file, and now you have some anecdotal notes from the individual that you're working with. Okay, so 13 behaviors, straight talk. You're going to know if you're lying, so please don't. There goes the trust. Okay, demonstrate respect, create transparency. If you really messed up, you're going to apologize quickly. You're going to show loyalty, okay, particularly to those who are not present in the room. Somebody's absent, this is not time to talk about salary. Okay, everybody, you're going to stay loyal to people, especially the ones not present in your conversation. All right, deliver on those results. Really be the person who always delivers. You really want to be known on that. All right. You're continuously challenging yourself. You're going to have an attitude of lifelong learning so that you are getting better continuously. You're going to confront reality. You're going to realize, when something went wrong and you didn't get it, well, you know it now, and now you have to confront reality. Okay, clarify your expectations, practice accountability, holding yourself and everyone else accountable. Okay, listening, keeping your commitments, and of course, extending trust. All right, and if you don't know a new staff member, or you've had a close encounter with a staff member, and you can say, you know, past history kind of tells me that trusting me right now is risky business, but I'm going to take the risk. Please don't let me down again. Okay? So what you can develop over time is known as a team psychological capital. There is a collective psychological state that can happen with a team over time if you work it correctly and you use your social awareness and your relationship management skills, that you will now have a collective efficacy, that the team really has a synergistic effect. Each and every one of the team members is really good, but boy, when that team's together, powerful things really happen. All right? There's a sense of hope. All right? Even though we were down a couple of people now, or something else is happening, or we'll have to go through some sort of, hazmat training. All right? Okay, but we did it before, we're going to survive it again. There's a sense of optimism. You're going to replace grit with resilience. Resilience meaning that you took such good care of yourself. You're not on fumes. You're investing time and effort in taking good self-care. Therefore, you have the will to go to when times are tough. And it's more than the total of the individual characteristics. And that's what needs to be shared with your team. That each and every one of you is absolutely fabulous professional practitioners. Damn, I work with this team anytime, any place, anywhere. Because together we really do something special. That's what you're going for. And you want that mindset for your team, and that's the collective psychological state. So, you're not the product of your circumstances, but you are the product of your decisions. Okay? So you need to decide, are you up to doing the work? Are you made for leadership? If you feel that you are made for leadership, then you have the 4 competencies of emotional intelligence to work through and anchor so that you are tooled up and you are not toughened up. So you're going to make a pact with yourself. You're going to have patience with what you do, but you're going to be relentless. Okay? You're going to take action every day to get you closer to your goal. You're going to be consistent in your actions. That's going to be your brand, your personal reputation and brand. And then you're going to allow sufficient time to achieve your goals. You're not going to be doing this overnight. You need to be compassionate and patient, but relentless with yourself. Okay? So I invite each and every one of you to go on this journey. Thank you very much for coming here. If you're on social media, please follow me. I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, I'm on LinkedIn. Please let's connect on LinkedIn together. And let's stay in touch. I do a daily dose of resilience on Instagram every morning, and my name on Instagram is AskDr. Dr. Phyllis. Okay, and I hope you join me. All right, thank you again.